I wanted to do a video today about ebook readers, and towards the end of the video I'll just drop in something about the nostalgia of reading ordinary books as we used to. But I know we still do, but certainly things are now moving over to this ebook format. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the 3 ebook readers that I have. Now, these are probably the 3 most popular in the market at the minute, but they're by no means least the only 3 ebook readers. So first of all, I'll jump straight away into Apple's very own iBook store, and as you can see here, aesthetically it's incredibly pretty. You have all the books laid out just as you would do in your own library at home, or your library down at school or whatever, on a bookshelf. You have a PDF set in here as well, so you can drag and drop your PDF files into it, and again it lays it out just like it would do with the books as well. I've got my Mac format magazines in there. Going back to the books, when you're reading the books themselves, you can customize the reading experience to suit you. It has a toolbar right up at the very top here. Very simple, very easy to use toolbar. Sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. You've got brightness here, so you can change the brightness of the reading. You've got your fonts, so you can increase or decrease the font. You can change the font altogether. Now, there's not a great selection there, but it's a selection nonetheless. Or you can change the background from sepia to white, whatever suits your reading style. There's a search option here, so obviously if you need to find a specific article in the book, then you can click on the search option. Another really neat feature about the iBook store is if there's a word that you're not really too sure of, you can just hold on to the word and it brings up this toolbar. Now you've got options here. You can either click on the dictionary, which will obviously define the word for you. You can highlight it, and obviously if you need to highlight more than one word, then you just drag the pins along and you can highlight it. You can drop it into a note, you can make notes of it, and then you can go back into the search option as well. So that's really fast and efficient way of finding out the definition of a word that you may not know. Now, the other thing about the iBook store, which is a time thing, is the fact that there's not a great deal of books available yet on the iBook store. Now, there's hundreds and thousands of books, but there's not the big selection that there possibly will be in the future. Now, the other thing about the reading experience in the iBook store is the turning off the pages on the iBook store is incredibly defined and intuitive. It's really, really slick, smooth experience and realistic. Now, that's not a big killer feature for everybody, but for a lot of people, realism is a factor in the ebook reading stores that they will be selecting. So that's the first thing. So let's jump back over to the iPad. Now, the next application I want to show you is Stanza. Now, as you can see here, Stanza is really, really simplistic in its layout. Now, a lot of people may like that, may not like that, but the good thing about Stanza is all the books that you buy in Stanza, you can transfer them across and drop them into the iBook store if you wish to do so. It does have quite a lot of features on it. So whenever you're reading, if you just touch the bottom of the page, it brings up this toolbar down at the bottom. Just let me zoom in. You can quickly change the size of the fonts here by clicking on the 2 Fs. You can, if you want to, you can click on an article and you can share it. You can send it to Facebook, Twitter, or mail, your email. You've also got a search option there as well, like you did in the iBook store. You've got a quick option here of just changing the background from black to white or white to black, whatever. And then down here at the bottom, you can also change a lot of things like the font. There's a big selection of fonts in there if you wanted to. Background color, you can change the background color from red to blue, black, whatever color you want, or different textures, like a marble texture or something like that. Text, you can change the text. So if you wanted like a red background with white text, you could do that. And there's loads of other settings in there that you can mess about with and change it to your needs. As you can see there, it doesn't really have the defined fluid movement whenever you're turning the page or anything like that. It's quite straight and simple. If you wanted to, you could turn that feature off and you could just have it where you swipe it and the page just moves across. So Stanza does offer you that. Now, In terms of the book range in Stanza, again, it's a bit like the iBook store. In fact, I would say it's worse than the iBook store. There's really not a big selection of books for Stanza. So now we'll go into the Amazon Kindle. So let's jump straight into the Kindle. The layout of the Kindle is a little bit better than Stanza, but not as good as the iBook store. Your books are just laid out in icons and you've got that nice background. But so far the iBook store definitely wins in terms of aesthetics. Now when you click on a book and you start reading, again you have your toolbar down at the bottom just as you did with the Stanza. You got your search feature, you can change your fonts again and your background and the brightness of the page, which is good for reading at night. Another thing you can do is as well, if you click and hold on a word, it brings up the definition down at the bottom, just like a short definition, and if you need the full definition you just click on the link and it will open up the full definition. Or you can highlight it as you could do in Stanza and the iBook store as well, or take a note of it. As you can see there, the toolbar offers you that option as well. Now the really good thing about the Amazon Kindle is they have a massive selection of reading material. It's incredibly widespread in the materials that you can download and buy, which is obviously going to be expected because Amazon have been around for a lot longer than the iBook store has. But like I say, time will only tell with the iBook store, and hopefully the iBook store will increase. When you download a book here, or say like on your iPad, or you have it on your Macintosh or your PC or your iPhone, when you're reading the book on the iPad and then you lift up your iPhone, it'll sync your bookmarks for you, so you pick up from where you left off. Now the iBook store does that as well, offers you that feature as well, but Stanza doesn't. So that's really it, guys, for the ebook readers. For me, the iBook store is definitely the best ebook reader, and certainly whenever they add a few more books to it, it will definitely be the best by a country mile. Now I'm not saying this just because I'm an Apple geek or anything like that there. I do genuinely prefer reading my books in the iBook store. A close second is the Amazon Kindle, because of the fact that you do have a much wider variety of reading materials. And then Stanza. Stanza is very simplistic, doesn't have a big range, but you can change the reading experience and customize it to your suitability. Now I said at the end there I would drop in a little bit about the nostalgia. Now I'm going to zoom out here. There's no doubt about it, reading on the iPad is fantastic, whether it's on the iBook store, the Kindle, or whether it's one of these magazine apps or newspapers. And it's convenient. You've seen all the books there that I have on the iPad. I carry them all around in just this tiny device. I couldn't carry them all around with me if they were ordinary novels. But something has to be said about the old walking into a bookshop, picking up a book, and just sitting down on an evening with a beer, flicking through it and reading it at your own leisure. I don't know whether I'm just completely old-fashioned about it, but I don't think so, because I embrace technology quite well. But I do miss not reading novels. I do miss not going, because I haven't been in the bookstore in ages. I haven't lifted up a novel in ages and read it. I do all this now on the iPad. The iPad is completely part of me now and is attached to me like an extra limb, really. So I do miss the going into bookstores and picking up a book and reading it and that type of thing. But what do you guys think? Have you guys moved across dead easy to the iPad? You see, I think we have accepted the technology reasonably well, but we're not completely conditioned to it just yet. I think it's going to be another couple of generations before we're completely conditioned to this way of reading, and that this way here might be phased out altogether. I hope not, but that's the way it seems to be. So thanks very much, guys, for watching the video. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at iHarrison30, or you can go across to techplanet30.com. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think of the ebook readers or reading in general. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.